Hi guys! Why don't you get an old cup?
I wanted one.
Welcome to Equilibrium. I'm your host, Bria.
I'm Tim.
We're back. It's been like 2 or 3 months.
It's been a while.
I missed you.
I can't say the same.
Well, I mean, like, what do you typically do on Friday nights?
Sleep.
You're not joking. Tim took a 3-hour nap on top of me. Like, I sit on the sofa and Tim doesn't want me to move.
Yeah, it's comfortable. I can't help it that you have the house at like 90 degrees.
It's not 90
I get
degrees.
tired.
It's not 90 degrees. It's like 77.
It says it's 82 in the house.
It's 77. I just don't like to spend money on air conditioning because I get cold.
Well, I'm tired because of it.
That's not an excuse.
The heat puts everyone to
No.
sleep.
You sleep on a normal day. What have you been up to?
How much?
I really like this closeness that we have.
I don't like being so close. I need some distance, some space. Looking for a little separation. Yeah, I haven't been doing anything. Just working.
Yeah, same. I've been interviewing a lot of great people and working a lot. But I did want to talk to you because we have quite a few things to cover. And what have you been watching on TV, Tim?
Ted Lasso.
What do you think?
I should have ended it after season 1.
I think I'm starting to like season 3 now.
You would.
It gets better towards the end of it. They have more soccer.
You would, because it introduces something new to the show. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. Like, there at least is some more soccer. They haven't had that in 2 seasons. But...
You know who's been playing a lot of soccer and getting hurt all the time?
Who was getting hurt all the time?
We've had to have x-rays, splints,
Nobody had
ice
a splint.
packs,
Nobody had a splint.
rest.
I'm getting old. I have a bone spur on my toe. That is
Who
it.
gets that?
And that wasn't even because of soccer. It was because I was wearing shoes that were too tight.
Tim showed up. It's like a Ferrari shoe, and it's like
Yes.
2 sizes too small. Like I could wear the shoe, and it could be big for me.
They're great for driving.
They're not great for driving.
They are great for driving.
Anyway, so now Tim can like not even wear. He has to wear like house shoes now. An elderly person.
Okay.
Tim shops at Costco now. We watched a really funny.
I did get a great shirt from Costco.
Isn't that a
great
Costco shirt?
Yeah.
We watched a really funny stand-up. Shane Wang.
This couch is uncomfortable.
We're gonna get to that. We watched a really funny stand-up comedy called Shane Wang, and he was talking about I'm at this point in my life now where I buy pants and shirts at Costco. Died laughing. I did buy a really baggy pair of pants from Costco. Got me through the winter.
Yeah.
Did you watch Beef?
I did. It was good. Like, it was set up nicely. It could have been better. I hated the last, 2 episodes because it was boring. But...
I almost stopped watching it. Like, in the middle, the first episode's good. Like, the Woad.
Take your time. Or don't. We don't have all night. Yeah, it was like a really good, road rage escalation. But... I don't know. It just got stupid and boring. And, I really liked when they were, going to each other's houses and, wrecking havoc.
Yeah, but then it got so outlandish where it's like, that's not actually going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, it might, but probably somebody's just going to get murdered first. I like it.
Speaking of Fast and Furious, which is Tim's favorite movie, Saga.
Was at one point until, the 7th movie.
All I know is that...
It should have died with Paul Walker.
What movie did he die? 7?
While we were filming 7.
I think it's... Yeah, I guess so. Or 5?
They should have wrapped it up in 7. They should have been it's been a long day, that little song.
Don't get us violated for copyright now.
And just, gone. Like, you see him driving off in the distance, and that's the end of this movie franchise because it was him, and now it's some corny, like, I don't know. It's just like a cheesy, corny, like,
You know who wants to see it though?
CW show.
Tim also loves the CW. All American is still coming on, and Tim was
I
literally teary-eyed
Hate
when Tay
All
Diggs
You're
died.
so stupid. All American and the CW are the dumbest. It's the dumbest network on earth. All
Every
American.
Monday, Tim is like, "Is there an all-new
That is Bria now.
All American?" I don't even
because
like
they're
the
getting,
show.
They're
I don't
getting more
like the show.
into political correctness.
I don't
and Bria
like
loves
that. I don't like that.
Yeah, the Tay Diggs death was the dumbest death I've ever seen on TV.
It was just like the way they set it up, where it's like he's in a bus and he's like, "You guys go on," and then he just like fell off a cliff for no reason.
You're ruining shows for a lot of people.
If you've not watched it by now, it's like 2 months later. That's just what that audience
it's
cares
just
about
trash.
now. Maybe we're just like too old.
I feel like that audience isn't even watching the CW. The CW is for like boomers and like people who didn't have friends.
Is that us?
Might be.
I feel like I was your only friend in college.
Nah, I had friends in college, but all my friends disappeared when you came around.
Anyway,
My friends didn't like your kind.
you shouldn't be racist.
Well, I didn't know they were racist.
You
but
did. You probably.
I probably
married.
did,
You
but-
did, and you were okay with it. Wow,
Here I am.
that's how you find out who you're married to.
Here I am.
Anyway, a show.
Wearing Black Wives Matter shirts now.
You lost at least 100 friends online.
Yeah, I think so.
That's good. You don't need those friends though.
Yeah.
Another show. We haven't really been watching a lot of shows. Like obviously we watched like. Well, I think we're moving away from Power. That was not great. Like the season 3's out. I'm not really into that. We have like short stints of like free trials for like Stars, Apple. There's another one we had a free trial for
Power should have stopped.
at like Original Power.
Yeah.
I like Kanan.
I hate these spin-off shows.
It's like universes now.
It's like Walking Dead is now having like 8 spin-offs or something and won't stop. But they finally did in the main show at least. In the main show, the last like 4 seasons were as garbage as, well, I don't want to say 4 seasons, but the last 2 or 3 seasons as garbage as Fast and Furious. Because they
I
like
don't really know if Fast and Furious was ever like.
Fast and Furious was
top
great
quality.
through 7 or like through 6, and
I
then
don't
7
know.
should have just been like a tribute to old Paul.
I don't know if it's been great. I don't know if anyone would describe it as,
It was
as
great.
such.
It was great.
It came on like it was on TV the other day, and Tim turned up the volume so incredibly loud.
Yeah, it's a great movie franchise for like the first few, especially. Tokyo Drift, premium entertainment.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it was great.
I saw it in the theater.
But-
Bow Wow.
That's like the same thing with Walking Dead though, because like Walking Dead was great up until really, I would even say it was good through like the Negan era, and then after that it was trash because they stopped killing off main characters, which is the whole point of even watching it. Like anyone could die at any moment, and then it kind of turned into, again, we'll term it as like a human rights show where they just start throwing in stupid storylines that did not matter and did not add to the story.
It didn't matter for people.
Just to show this in here for no reason. And like, you had already lost your fan base, so it was just stupid.
What I'm excited about, well, I'm not going to watch it, but I really love movies and shows that show like landmarks deteriorating and falling to pieces. So what is it with Negan and Maggie or something? Like
Yeah.
Dead City. And it has the Statue of Liberty with like a skull. Ugh, I love it. I love when things are ruined like that.
Yeah, it's cool seeing like the deterioration, and it's supposed to be like so far off in the future from when it happened. It'll be great.
I'm not gonna watch it though. I don't really have a show that I'm really looking forward to seeing that's coming back. Married at First Sight has been by far the worst season, but I want to save that for the end. I want to switch gears for a second and talk to you about your legacy. I'm just joking. What do you think is the best age No, I told you I was gonna interview like my people.
You start asking questions like that, I'm signing out.
What is your legacy though?
Like I said, I'm gonna sign out on those questions.
Anyway, what age do you think is the best age to get rid of starter furniture?
As soon as you can afford real furniture.
But real furniture is really expensive.
As soon as you can afford real furniture without ruining your future. If you are 21, 25, even 28 years old buying stuff at like West Elm or one of these fancy places, Our House,
It's good.
you're making really bad life decisions. Even more so, I would say if you're buying $15,000 couches and you live in an apartment, you have gone down a very
It's a
bad
good
path.
couch though.
You've gone down a very bad
We
path.
went to Our House. I don't know why we even went to Our House. I don't know who was in the mood to go in there that.
I think we were just like out exploring, and
Yeah.
I was like, I want some furniture, and we went in like the most expensive furniture store you can pick.
Crazy prices. It was like a table. Like it was like nice, I guess, but I'm still like I'm not gonna pay $15,000 for a sofa. Like I want to, yes, invest in a sofa because that's where we spend like the bulk of our time, and like our posture is really bad now. Not mine, I'm perfect, but our posture is really bad, and I just can't see myself spending like even $2,000 on a sofa. Like, why is a sofa so expensive? It's just fabric and like cushion.
Well, Our House, however you say that, was also, it had light fixtures that I swear looked just like some I've seen at IKEA, and they were like $4,000. When IKEA will charge you like $20 and like just stick it in the ceiling.
Remember we bought that IKEA thing though, and then we had to take it back because it didn't have like a.
Some of the ones
A wall.
there looked like that, where it was just a wire hanging down.
Why does it? Why would you
I don't
want
know.
that?
No,
I found a really good light place for all those types of fixtures that like wasn't crazy expensive and like they worked just fine. But like we have an IKEA table that is really solid and really great though. That was probably our best purchase. And a lot of the stuff that we have from like what 24, like when we first
like our
23.
cabinets. We've got some good cabinets.
Some good stuff you can buy there, but like in
Cabinets
terms
are
of, like,
very hard to move because they weigh like more than all of our other furniture. So like, pretty solid.
what do you think is our heaviest piece of furniture?
Heaviest piece of furniture, cabinets maybe it. The couches aren't very heavy because we have like cheap Amazon couches
I think
that are very bad
that's
for
not
us.
an Amazon couch. There's only one Amazon couch. Okay, so I have a couch that I bought when I was 21, 22, young millionaire, and it was like the first thing I ever bought for like $300 was one of my paychecks, and it is one of my favorite sofas. It's lasted all this time.
She won't even let us sit on this sofa, even though it's the nicest one in the house because it's for guests.
Do you want to know why? Because you
like
eat
we're-
on the sofa and you put a whole bunch of crumbs and you sit there playing with your toes.
Like we're boomers with fancy china. that
Look,
can't
I don't
come
want-
out
you already
when
messed
those
it
guests
up.
are around.
There's always like crumbs, and I tell Tim, do not eat on the sofas. You know what Tim does? He drops noodles on the carpet, puts. This isn't the time for that. But that's why I don't let you sit over
I
here.
think you need some anti-anxiety
I
meds.
think you need to learn how to eat at a table.
Goodbye.
You're not going anywhere.
I'm leaving. Yes, back to the original conversation. When it is time to buy real furniture is when you can afford it and you actually have your housing in order first. If you're buying expensive furniture to live in an apartment, you're doing things wrong unless you're one of the people who is like military or something, whatever the circumstances, having to move a lot. Doesn't make sense to have.
That was us.
I mean, like if you're moving every 6 months, if you're living somewhere for 2 years at a time, you should own.
That was us. That was tough.
I know, that was us at one point, and we definitely shouldn't have had nice furniture either.
We didn't.
Oh, we didn't.
I don't even really think like it's really. What do you think is our nicest piece of furniture?
Probably some decor. I like our little like shelving, like
That
our
was like World Market shelf.
yeah. I like live edge type things.
Tim got really into that, where you wanted to do like what is it, poly, filling in the cracks on wood. Like into like, and now he's
Oh,
like
yeah,
trying
I
to buy
do
like
wanna
20
do that.
feet trees. And then we realized that his dad really likes trees.
Does he?
Yes.
Yeah, my summer project is going to be so first and foremost, we have to get our deck sealed and stained, which I'm not doing myself.
Why are you going through your whole project list right now?
This is just like we're building off of furniture. We're going into like the housing.
You don't determine what our topics that we cover.
That's what I'm talking about. So my summer project, after we get our deck ready, I am planning on turning it into a living area, a living environment. It's gonna have some nice. We're gonna start with like probably 4 cara orange trees.
You don't even eat oranges.
I do occasionally.
No, you don't.
But they're mainly for you. And then I'm gonna fill in the space in between, and basically we're gonna have like a totally like sheltered environment sit out there in the midst of like a forest.
It sounds like a lot of bugs.
Or a garden. It's gonna be great.
Sounds like a lot of bugs.
Well, you're gonna complain no matter what, so we know that.
You got that from the dentist. Anyway, Tim has a lot of projects he needs to do, and half the time I can't help because the ceilings are too high, and I just am not as tall as I thought.
Good excuse.
Do you have anything else you'd like to discuss?
About houses?
No.
About financial literacy?
No. Well, I guess you can tell people about financial literacy.
No, that's for another day. I'm gonna start charging for that.
Okay.
That's gonna be one of my future ventures, which I've kind of said I would do eventually, but because high schools should be teaching financial literacy, but they're not.
Is that what you want your legacy to be?
No, I don't really care about whatever my legacy is. I'm just out here living a quarter mile at a time. Like,
what are you working towards?
Dominic Toretto. I'm working towards retirement.
And then what are you going to do in retirement?
I'll figure it out when I get there.
It's so funny.
Coach my kid's soccer team.
Planning anything with someone who is so like Tim and I are extremely opposite in every sense that you could possibly be opposite. And planning any sort of trip or anything with him. How long have we been together? An eternity?
A long time. Way too long.
Do you have something you need to say? Would you like to be single at 30? Looks pretty bad out there.
It does. I don't know how people. I'll keep those comments.
That's a whole nother situation. I'm feeling like.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Like, you're extremely dirty.
You're extremely dirty.
You didn't have to say like that, and I'm not extremely dirty. Anyway, I guess I'll put up with it, because I don't want to be out there in the streets.
If I was single at this age, morbid depression.
Where did you say where you were like, people should go here to meet a single person or to meet a spouse?
I had a great idea for
that. You had a great idea.
I can't remember,
so I was like, like a bookstore. I said a cafe thing.
Yeah, nobody's going to meet at a cafe.
People have to eat if you're like working remotely. I feel like people are in there.
I don't know. When you say cafe, I'm imagining those places that's like that little sandwich shop that has like a bookstore in it. And like, if you meet a man in there, they're either only into men or they're posing as that and just using it as like a ploy. So not a good ploy.
What sort of sandwich place with a bookstore?
Like Board and Brew or something like that. We've gone in that you're like, oh my goodness.
I didn't say, oh my goodness, I just like the pesto sandwich.
You like the way it looked.
That wasn't. I would not go into a place with board games all over the place.
Anyway,
is that anyway? Put that out there.
That's you.
It's
anyway,
not.
Anyway,
you really think you can meet someone like a sporting event?
Well, I think the place I suggested was like softball leagues, like those kind of things. Because like that is like going out to those soccer leagues that I'm a part of. I feel like half the reason people are out there trying to like meet people. Like, you just have to do co-ed, but then if you're doing co-ed in soccer and someone of your stature, you're going to probably end up in the hospital.
I would not. I'm, like, really strong, though.
Are you?
I'm a tank.
You would get elbowed in the face and be gone.
Are people elbowing out there?
You just saw me, like, almost kill someone the other day.
Honestly.
I didn't even try to run into her.
Half the time, I don't even really know if it's you. There's, like, other white men out there with brown hair, and I'm like, there's Tim. And I follow him the whole time, and I'm like, that wasn't Tim.
Co-ed leagues are hard to play in, though. I've found out that I enjoy the non-co-ed leagues, because I can just, like, hit people and not worry about killing people accidentally.
I hate the smell of the vitamin water. I don't. Yeah, if I would never show up to a co-ed league to do anything. Like I think if I were single in my 30s, I would.
I don't
just,
think you'd leave the house.
I don't think so. I would have to really force myself to leave the house, and like that's not gonna happen. I also don't like being outside at night because I'm like bad things happen in the night. So I also hate going to bars.
I think if
I just like dancing. That's fun.
I think the only way things would have been fine for me is if I had like stayed in the rhythm of like going to the gym that I had like before I met you. If I were like going to the gym all the time, maybe.
I feel like the gym is a certain type of person. I feel like it's a lot of
It
herbs
is.
in there.
Yeah. It would probably be people that I wouldn't actually want to talk to, but like at least there's like single people in there.
I don't want.
Because once people get in relationships, they're like, all right, time to eat.
That's what you did.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Just have to go on,
I had a great suggestion the other day, but I can't remember it. My memory is slipping with my age.
I think you're not even that old. Tim was complaining. We went to like a event thing, and he was like, "Why are people so loud in here?"
I was like, "Can you turn it down a scooch?" So loud.
Yeah, you love blasting your speakers in your house.
Yeah, but it's good music, and that was terrible speakers.
Yeah.
Terrible music. Terrible people. I don't want to be around those people.
This is why Tim doesn't leave the house. I don't leave the house either. I wanted to leave.
Stars knew we didn't want to be around those people.
Yeah, it was fine. Like, she was having a great time, so.
She was having a good time. That was the only reason I was there.
Yeah. But normal night, I would be like, this is not for me. I'll see you later.
And at least I got some nerds. That was the only thing I was happy about.
You guys were so excited, like, to get nerds and, like, measuring tape. What are you doing with this?
I don't know what she was doing with the measuring tape.
You were excited about it, too.
I was like, that's cool. It's on a keychain. But I didn't take it with me. Anyway.
And you guys were like, I'm going to measure stuff. That's why, like, I don't know what you guys are doing in your spare time. I want to talk about, like, segueing from being single in your 30s and how bad that is Married at First Sight, because these people are in their 30s and they're single and they had to go on Married at First Sight.
Woo!
So, Married at First Sight...
And there's a reason they were single in their 30s, which is probably the case for everyone.
Tim has a strong feeling about people being single at 30, and he says that there is something wrong.
I don't say there's something wrong. I say there's a reason.
You say there's something wrong with people.
A lot of them. It is very rare.
It's not.
It is very rarely.
Just sometimes, like, maybe they just didn't find the right person. It wasn't the right time. They don't live in the right place.
It's very rarely a choice that these people are single at 30.
Sometimes it is, though. Sometimes people are like, you know what? I need some time for myself. I am not mentally where I need to be. I want to do better in my career. I need to really focus on specific things.
That may be the choice, but also a bad decision, because if you are with someone who is actually a good relationship for you, then they can support you through whatever you're developing in your career, like a normal household would.
I mean, I guess, but I feel like sometimes people are past that at a certain time. Like, if you get to be 30 years old, I feel like there's a lot less give and take at that point, because you're like, I've worked a certain point in my career.
If you get to 30 years old, you missed the boat.
I don't think so.
Like you did for a normal, like
normal what, Tim?
You said you didn't want to edit today, so I stopped myself. Anyway, yeah, if it's like somebody who meets in college.
Not everyone can meet their spouse in college.
Or like around that time. Fine. If you're meeting 30 plus, one of you at least has some big red flags. Like, one of y'all is carrying some baggage.
Everyone's carrying
Probably
baggage.
both of y'all are carrying some quiet baggage.
What does that even mean?
Like, loud baggage is like a child. Quiet baggage is like, you got some emotional issues.
Where are you getting these terms from?
It's
You've
just in
really
my
been
head.
on the internet.
I made that up myself.
Look
Just because I'm like, if I were in the dating world, which gladly I'm not, loud baggage would be an absolute no.
Interesting.
quiet baggage is probably a no. So I'm probably just gonna be single forever.
I feel like you're a very particular person. I feel like you'd be single for a while.
Yeah, yeah. Ain't gonna be with some dud. No saved games.
I feel like you're a very particular person. And I don't know how you found a spouse.
I know what I deserve in life, and I'm not gonna settle for anything less.
So you'd rather be single in your 30s until you find the right person, which I feel like a lot of people are doing.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
I feel like it happened.
Uh-huh.
Tim was on a semi-pro
I've been watching too many
soccer league, and like
watching too
now
many
I'm
movies.
officially a wag.
I'm not in a semi-pro soccer league.
And it's like crazy to like finally be at this status, and I knew it one day would happen for me.
It is not a semi-pro soccer
It
league.
is a semi-pro soccer league.
And I have also realized with my time out there that I am not in the physical shape that I once was.
I mean, like, yeah, you're like one of the worst ones out there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But like,
I start, thank you very much.
not every night.
When I'm on time.
You're always on time and you never start.
No. Oh, you haven't been out there in like 3 weeks.
I went out there literally on Monday.
And I started. And I was late too.
I honestly, once you walk out there, I lose you. I don't know where you go.
I'm starting center mid, thank you very much.
Really sensitive about this, huh? Anyway, I want to get to Married at First Sight. Married at First Sight Nashville is it needs
Trash.
It's so boring this year or this season, and
But like, let's be real, it's the city of Nashville. What could actually make it more exciting?
I don't know, just like the people. Oh my gosh, there's a Married at First Sight United Kingdom, and the guy has like face tattoos, and like it's like an interracial couple. So they have a white guy with face tattoos, and just like it looks like he works at like a pub, and then there's like a black girl who he's dating, and like nothing's really special about her, but it's just funny the interaction that they have, and I'm like, I need to be watching the British version.
Yeah, it looks a lot more like authentic. Like with it being Married at First Sight, it really needs to like actually have
like
some
someone
stuff.
shows up, like not that this is like oh my gosh, but like just
Well, for one thing, the normal like United States show, they never go into like different races. It's always like if it's a black man, it's with a black woman. If it's somebody with any Latino
you have to be
origin,
matched.
they're like, this is gonna be a spicy couple.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's racist.
They also don't look at, like, people will show up at the altar and they'll be like, I didn't want a bald person, or I didn't want someone with a snaggletooth, and they always give them those people. It's like,
and
look at
zoom
these,
in
like,
on it as
it's
they
like,
do it.
look at these people's exes, or like look at, like, actually take a look at what they put on their sheet of paper and what they're gonna look for, because they're like, oh, Married at First Sight, like, you're not gonna necessarily be attracted to this person. It's like, at least shoot, like, kind of give them what they're looking for and put on the sheet of paper. Like Gina and Clint, she's like, hey, I don't like, what did she say, redheads? Even though like her ex-boyfriend was redheaded, so that doesn't make any sense. But she's like, I don't like this guy. His like, personality is like, it's too much for me. I feel like that should have been like number one. Attractiveness, like what they look like, personality-wise, and like morals and value. Well, that should be, I don't know.
Well, the morals and values they don't ever look at, and you have people
Like
who are
money.
like, there was one who was like very liberal. I can't remember what that was in New Orleans or something. Very liberal, and she was like, yeah, he basically alluding to the fact that he was a Trump supporter.
Yeah, I think her sister was gay or something, and she was like, I don't want to introduce, like, bring my husband around. Like, kind of, I feel, you know, like, I don't want to bring my husband around people who are different, have different viewpoints. And it's funny, like, that one.
Do you want to
like,
talk about the 2024 election?
No. Headed towards those papers. Yeah, they just like don't focus on, and they need it like to refresh the experts. They're just not good anymore. It's just Dr. Pepper and Pastor Cal and like Megan Good's ex-husband's on there, and like they're not contributing anything. I don't know. I just hate it.
Their guest people on their show are always like corny, like useless people too, and they're always like the extra prediction and after shows.
Oh my gosh!
And then it's always women or people who want to be women.
It's like a 2-hour, like Married at First Sight typically is 2 hours long. They've cut into the 2-hour long shows now. 30 minutes of that is with Keisha Knight Pulliam and like her interviewing people. And it's like, I don't care to see this. Like, give me the content. These are the most boring episodes in general. Just let it play out. Another funny thing that in like one of the most recent, so we're almost to decision day for Nashville. One of the things that they were talking or had, they had all the women go into like this bar, I guess, or something.
Yeah.
Completely empty, and they have like a group of guys that they like definitely paid to show up and to like try to talk to the women. And it's like, this is so staged and so fake. And the guy's like, I got a BMW outside, like I can take. Like, it's like.
Except he didn't even say BMW.
Yeah, I don't know what
like,
it's called.
He's like, I got a 740 outside. I got another at home. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that girl does not know what a 740 is, and also not impressive at all.
And they were like, oh, like he breeds dogs too. Like this will be great. And like they told them up front, like, oh, we're married, blah blah blah. But then they were like still talking to the person. I was like, this is so like it just felt so fake. Again, because the season's so boring.
Yeah, it was a waste.
That was a waste. Anyway, it was great to talk to you, and we won't see you probably for another few months because like sometimes
get my sports update.
Okay.
I don't really have much.
That's what I'm saying. World. So why you even cut me off?
Chelsea almost got relegated.
They need to get relegated.
Nah, they barely made it out of that. So they'll be back in the Premier League next year.
They don't deserve that.
But they didn't make the Champions League, so a lot of the players got their salaries cut really badly. So they're probably going to lose a lot of players next year. Yeah, anything else in the sports world? Auburn still has that terrible man as the football coach. They got some transfers. Kind of hard to say this, but I hope they lose every game, so they have to fire him this year.
Hard to say this. You don't even like Auburn.
Not with Harsin there for sure.
No, that's not his name.
Whatever. They replaced Harsin with this guy, Hugh Freeze.
You see? I know.
Yeah. And I think they're doing all these funny like puns with like the freeze is coming and stuff like that. I'm like, you need to stop watching the CW and stop using these.
It's all the same sort of crowd that pays attention to college football.
It's not.
Anyway, any other things you'd like to share?
I think that's it for me.
All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. I don't have anything else either. Yeah, just keep watching the show, share, subscribe, and we'll see you again soon.
It's called Equilibrium.